Alright, I haven't started her in a long time now. It's months because it didn't snow really, so I did clean up in here a little bit. So let's get this thing started. And I'm going to remove most of this, and I got to find a place to put it. So it's going to be a tough start. I should probably prime the carburetor just to help it. You know, because you usually have to crank it. I've seen people put like push primers in, which is nice. It's a good idea. You know, put a push primer in, and then you don't have to worry about, you know, killing the battery and, you know, taking the battery down and taxing the starter and cranking over the engine. Let's see. We should have, choke is on. That's the brake is on. We're in neutral. I should be able to start. We'll put the choke on a little bit. Okay, it's going to need more fuel coming up. Alright, move a couple more things out of my way. It's a little dark in here because I never finished the bulb replacements in the shop. We'll get to that. Yeah, you know, when it lifts up it gets crooked, which is, I don't know what's doing that. I noticed that with the plow, but, well, oh, there goes the air compressor. Alright, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to just disconnect a few of these things up top, which is real easy. Let me show you. Just pull this pin. That's why I did it like this. And then this slides out. And then you can put the pin back. And if you want, you can shove it. I have a toolbox for this thing, which is another nice thing. Now that's off. Just scrape it out of the way. And then there's a plug on this side. I just made up this plug. It's nice and hot now. See, and it's kept here, captive. We're done here. So with everything basically out of the way, the only thing that's left, you can see down there, there's some tie wraps. We got to cut those. There's an extra rod that doesn't really, it's not really required on this combination machine and implement. Maybe we'll cut that out of the way. I remember when Zippo had something similar and he went like crazy trying to get all the pins out and everything that it's connected. No, we're not doing that. And then on either side, it's just these clips and a pin, right? And we'll just pull those out of the way. But first we got to drop it down on a dolly, take some of the pressure off. All right, now that the clevis pins are out, the clevis pins, what's holding it in is actually this trunnion bar here. That's what we'll call it for now, but it's part of the locator. It's really what holds everything up. And the next thing we need to do, now this looks a little bit like it's, actually looked a little, now this won't come off completely until we lower it down more, right? And I should have done that first and disconnected it. So that's what I would recommend. Now we've got this pin here. Let me pull this out. I took the hood off because it's just damn easier. There's just no sense. There's a couple of pins. I got it set up. It comes right off. Super easy. and or pull this forward a little, and we're done. Okay, it's out. All right, now I gotta figure out what I want to do with it. All right, so I pulled it back in. I decided to repin it. You can't see it, but I cut a chamfer on that to make it easier, and I'll probably do the same thing to the other pins. And I had to wire up that stupid bracket. You probably can't see because it falls down, hits the ground, and then you can't align anything. It's in the way, and it cocks the machine. It cocks the implement. We got to cut that off. It's not used here. I'm not sure what it's for, honestly. So there's the dog. He wants to go in, right? All right, I'm gonna move it. I got a spot. All right, now I can do a little bit of maintenance. I'm not gonna change the filter because I don't need to, but I am gonna drop the oil. The oil was pretty new, but I think it's a little thin, and I'll show you what I'm using in a bit. It's nice. It's out of the way. This here, see how it's on that pin? Because the springs are on it. You probably could take that off. I say we cut it, but I don't know, because I remember when Zippo tried, driving a lot of this stuff out. Like there's an extra one of these on there too. Like we don't use that either. It might come right out. It's in good shape. It might be if we just loosen up the springs. See, what has to come out is all of this. These are on collars. Maybe when we, next year we're gonna go through that and disassemble it and lube it all up. Because you know what? If it's one of those things where if it's movable now, right, this is the time to do it. And then we can clean up the rest of the container. And there's a few other issues with it along the bottom. There's some rust. There's some bendies. And then the other job for today is, this thing's a mess. It's going to come apart. You can see how bad it is. But I think we can save it. So today's job is we're going to take this off. And I want to see if I can make like a block off plate of some kind, just to turn it a bit more into a mulcher. We'll lube it up. I want to look underneath and see what condition the blades are in. I had gone over that once already. I think we can save this. It's so heavy, fellas. And then we want to pull the oil out of that. It's probably gear lube or something. So maybe we can check that, or suck it out or something and add more. We don't want this to become a problem any more than it is. These are really expensive. You can find similar decks. They're still out there. Zippo's got tons of them. But on here in Long Island, forget it. I'd have to drive to the Midwest to get one of these. I saw one once for over $300, and it wasn't quite the right unit. But, maybe one day when I have more money, we might be able to modify something to put it into place. Because really, the only thing that makes, like, you could get a smaller deck too. The only thing that makes this what it is the overall height, which is not a problem because there's other ways of dealing with that. But it's this bracketry here and then this thing with the pulley. So we may even want to try to mount this to a different deck at some point. And because I don't need a deck this big. And I have other decks. So we might want to look into that. That might be a doable thing. This is just mounted on here with bolts. Right? There's really nothing special to any of this. As long as we get the center, which is easy to do. They have things called rulers. And a little bit of fabrication. It might be easier to fabricate something from something existing. And we won't even have to bork any of this because all of this remains the same. We don't change any of this, really. Because why would you? This is what connects to what we're going to be connecting to later on. At least until I figure out what to do, right? Because she's in bad shape. Anyway, I think we'll get another season or so out of it. Like I said, I want to put a little better oil in it. We'll use this oil in some of the crappy lawnmowers that I sell. Because it's got like no hours on it. Right? It's just getting a little black. It's a little thin. Yeah, it's not bad. Alright. Let it drip. Right? See, I've already lubricated underneath here, so we don't have to do that again until next year. Everything is fine. And I did the tranny filter like a couple of years ago, and everything was mint underneath here. There's just a few things that I'd like to clearance in the future. I haven't fully checked the brakes, but they work, and I've kind of been in there. All right, let's leave it. Clean this off. Just wipe this. Put a little fresh slab of grease on it. These are the slip connectors. All right, I'm going to use a Rotella 15W40. I used like a 5W30 or something last time because it was winter and that's what I had. It's a little dark, as you can see, but this is good oil. It's a blend, as most of these things. This is not expensive.
The way I see it, all synthetic oils are the same.
Oh, think with your dipstick, Jimmy.
Aren't all synthetic oils the same?
Think with your dipstick, Jimmy.
Synthetics or synthetics? Castrol Edge. I'm gonna try this.
Oh, no, that's thinking with your dipstick.
So why did you hit me?
Because you were thinking with your dipstick, Jimmy.
Think with your dipstick. Upgrade to new Castrol Edge with 8 times better wear protection than Mobile One 5W30. It's more than just oil. It's liquid engineering.
Drink it up. Yeah, it's gonna like this. All right, let me figure out how much this needs, because like I said, I'm too damn lazy to go look it up in my folder. So let's just give it a minute. I have some other stuff to look at. I'm gonna check the tire. Might want to add some more slop leak in there and let this sit. I'm sure it's gonna need more. All right, I got next to no pressure. A little bit. I only keep them up to about 15 anyway, which is a lot less than what they should be. Let's put a little bit of the slop leak in, flat out. I got some old stuff, and we'll put a little new stuff. This is some old crap. I think I put a little water in it, but we'll get rid of it. Oh, that was a lot. Bring it up. It's like puking its way in there. And then we'll put some of the new flat out. This is the stuff that I like. It's for like the small equipment and stuff like this. They have one for like ATVs, and it's made for bigger holes, like when you run over something and rip your tire open on the trail. Oh, that's a different product. All right, it's already got some in here, so that should be enough. We don't need a lot. Some of that other stuff is in too. Ooh. Break it up. All right, I'll be back. I'm gonna put. Actually, waiting for a customer. But, you know, sometimes they talk to you and then they disappear. And I'm like, well, where'd you go? Or you know, you say you want something. They're all the same for the most part. One guy told me something the other day. Like, first come, first serve. He's like, well, then I'm going to get there and you're not going to have it. And well, it's by appointment. By appointment only. First come, first serve. Yeah, but I'm going to get there and you're not going to have it. Well, that's what the appointment is for, right? Make an appointment. Yeah, but still, you know, you could say that and then I'll get there and it won't be there. I'm like, oh, brother. Okay. Circular logic that goes nowhere. Right? I just stopped talking to the fella. I'm like, you obviously get damaged. And for me to try to talk to you, you know, we're going to bait you, to try to convince you, we're going to educate you how this works. No. Next. That's circular dummy logic. Almost. Put a little bit more than 15 in so that I have a little bit of leakage room.
Here day.
Child. She's childing. So this is the one that that I'm selling today. So it's not bad. This is the one, I think I released it, or I am releasing it, or I will be releasing it, the Honda 5.0 GC160. I mounted it on this frame. It's got the nice rims. I got the nice handle and wand. It's adjustable pump, so you can adjust the pressure. So let's see, they'll be here shortly. All right, I got this piece on. I cleaned it up a little bit of oil, and then a little WD and a rag, and we'll get in there again. This all needs to be cleaned. This has not been cleaned in a while. All right, so basically I just hang it on there, and it really kind of wants to live. This is already on. It's not that heavy, right? So especially once it's on the pivots here. And the only thing we got to do now So I can see that that wants to go in, and that wants to go in. So we're just going to leave those there for a minute. But there's a piece here that we need to get into, and you would think it would line up, but it doesn't. It's really weird. It does not line up properly. So one way is you have to kind of move it back and forth, and I don't know why that is, but it is. It's trying to go in. Yeah, see? All right, just give it a knock. And like I said, I tape at the ends, but I don't like to put it that way, all right? I don't like it like that, because then the clip is on the inside, and it just, I'm peeving about it. I don't like it there because it just makes it a little bit harder. Like you can see, it's on there. I think what I'd like to do, fellas, is take it back off and pass a drill bit into that piece. This piece that flops up, because it's just a bit cocked. I don't know why that would be, but it is a B. It ain't B. So that's kind of what I'm doing today, is just trying to see, if there's anything I can do to. This is like I mentioned that I made this rod and all that fits well. I don't know if it's like. My thinking was, well, make one kind of to like a factory, and then if I want more mechanical advantage or more throw, I can think about that and, later and decide, right? But then at least I'll have one that's correct. And as I grow with the machine, I can make, tweaks and changes. I gotta move you back. This is gonna get hit a little bit. So let's take this back off. This is real easy, right? It just pops right in. Just move things around a little bit. All right, I'm gonna move you back. I'm gonna kind of put this, maybe I'll bring it up over on the table and pass a drill, because it's really thick. I made this bar. This is kind of from my forklift. It doesn't interfere with anything else. It won't even interfere if I put a ramrod over here, a hydraulic rod, a ramrod. All right, we'll be back in a minute. I'll let you know. All right, I can see here. We'll put a flange on it, and we will open it a little bit. It's got a little bit of warble to it, but it's pretty tight. We're just going to freshen it. Okay? That's all I want to do. And let's see, it's going to take me a little bit, so I'll probably tune you out. There we go. And we'll just put a little bit of a counter bore. My uni bit, which is just a step bit. Yeah, we're getting there. Just a little bit. Go slow. That's good. Now turn around the other way, but you get the point, right? It just gets taking up one small size and making it round, because it's actually a little bit oblong, but I think it's just too short. The center distance, I don't know why. All right, I'll be back in a minute. All right, all cleaned up and done. Everything's lubed, right? I got oil and grease. I left some meat in the center, right? I didn't go all the way through. I just kind of created a bit more of a path for alignment, and with also tapering these bolts, right? It acts like a drift, okay? And sometimes I do use this to align things because of the taper. So now we can go install it, I think, for the last time, and that's all I can do at this point. I think that's enough, but it's a little bit of something to, tweak it a little. And everything else that I mounted on here, the thing that I made, right, is removable. It's actually bolted on. It's a separate unit. So you can see the bolts over there. And I just welded on flanges to mount it to, and it served me well. All right, let's get this done. All right, that's much smoother, way smoother. I still couldn't get it to come in from this side. I think it just needs a touch more tweaking. And I'll do that another time, right? It's fine. This one went real smooth. It actually went in much better, but I really would rather have, I made this it's like a spring spacer plate. In fact, I should probably put more spring into it. You kind of create a spring by beveling the plate. You make it like convex, I think is a better word. So it just basically sits in this bayonet here, and it's all done, okay? When I start it up, I'll raise it up, and I'll move this thing out, and then we're going to bring in, I guess we'll bring in this guy. I was just wondering whether I should just pull it up on the forks or just drag it in by hand. I'll probably just drag it in by hand. All right. Look at the light coming through, right? It's bad. But I've had cars worse than this, right? I can fix that. Everything is good. Last year or 2 years ago, whenever, I was able to get grease in the grease fittings. I sharpened up the blades. There's some string wrapped around this, so we're going to get that off. We pop the blades real quick. And then grease the fittings, sharpen the blades, put them back on. Everything looks good. And they don't, it doesn't matter which way these go. They don't interfere with each other. So they're not phased. These are so nice. They're such heavy blades. There's nothing wrong with them. I'm just going to clean them up again. I already gave them a cleaning a couple of years ago, and they're still pretty sharp. So just a quick cleaning, delousing. Look how nice these are, right? So just a wire wheeling, and I'll put some more grease on like I did last time, or some no-sees. Lather them up, and like I said, we'll defoul, grease them up, and put them back on. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we'll pop this bolt off, and I think this may be one more bolt. Yeah, it's just over here. It's just an extra bracket. All right, we'll do that while we're here. All right, defouled. I just wiped them off with this oily rag, but look at how nice they are. They're all in beautiful shape. Check them for balance. Balance is good. Let's get them on. Let's get it on. You know, 4 should be good. I mean, we don't know. It could be completely dry. I suppose you could try to do it until it like pukes out of somewhere. See, the Smart Seeker. Get yours now. Available at local stores. No, actually go online to Smart Seeker, and you should find it. Now I figure we're gonna lather up all of this because this rusts. So we'll put like a coating. You could just like use like a spray wax as well. And I might put the spray wax on, but we want to get it on these splines. Yep, I gotta get some more. Definitely. So just a little bit, just around, you know, the metal. So because it'll wax up and it'll keep it from rotting. Because that seems to be what happens. Now, how does this go again? So, I'll put a little on the blade surface too, because I had like little pimples that were sticking up. You don't want anything that's gonna make the blade stand up. Maybe we could take the hose off, and we'll put a little on this too. Let's take our straw off. Besides, straws are banned. Plastic straws are banned everywhere anyway. So, jeez, don't even get me started, fellas. I can't take it. All right, so there's the bushing. Kind of the wing towards the, where it needs to be. I don't know which blade is better. I suppose there is one that's better. And we'll put a little bit on here. There you go. I'm liking this. It's a new way. Because I noticed there was a lot of rust forming. These were bad. I had to kind of really clean these up the first time. They were bad because the water sits, kind of like hangs in these spaces. And the more it rusts, the more water hangs. All right, let's blammo it. All right, quick adjustment. Doesn't that look sweet? Quick adjustment. Let's see. Let's try with one of these first. This is heavy, so I may need something bigger, even though it looks weak. good. Not terrible. A little flexation. There we go. All right, hit a bunch of spots with oil in any area that moves. We'll get to the rollers later, because I actually use the rollers, not for striping, but it kind of tells me when I'm hitting the grass and where I want to be. Still got to do a couple of spots back here. Let's see, can we get this off? Because my thinking is, if you get this off, I think you can turn it on where, you know, in the direction we had it. And then, yeah. Look at that, that's going. And then that way, I can hear you. You can see if it drains out. Oh, there was pressure in that. Yeah. All right, I gotta put a rag or something. So why don't we turn it upright and drain it into a clear pan and see what it looks like. But there's definitely some, my guess is you fill it. Maybe to this one or this one. I don't know. They're all about the same height. This is the same height as here. So if it's peeing out and I'm on a little bit of an angle, maybe this is the fill hole or something. I don't know. I'm guessing, right? Arch, why don't you go look in the manual and stuff? Fellas, look, listen. I'm getting tired. I got to cut my lawn. It's getting late. All right? Can you do me? One of you guys do me a favor? Go look in the manual. This pulley's all getting beat. It's falling apart. But they're so strong and like beefy. That's not even the right size belt. I managed to mash that on. We got to get some lube in here too. I gotta. Is there grease fitting over there? Yeah, I think so. I got grease fitting on that. All right, we'll be back. I gotta figure this out. While I'm doing this, do me a favor. Go look in the manual for me. I bet you if Zippo's watching this, he'll be like yelling. You gotta put this in. Throw that one out. I got plenty. I don't know. Who knows? All right, yeah, I can smell it on my fingers. It's definitely gear lube. It smells like, you know, the day after corned beef and cabbage. That kind of stink. Is this going to be enough? I can't imagine it holding very much. And maybe this is how you fill it. I don't know. It's a little dirty. It could use fresh. Yeah, I bet you if we spin it, it'll probably come out faster. And then maybe we'll take this off and that'll allow it to come out faster too. Yeah. Do I have a little wrench for that? What do I got? Let me see. Oh yeah, taking that little top one off. Yeah, I would say it needs to be changed. I probably have enough to put in there, plus I have some other stuff that I can put in, and then we can always do it again to give it a flush. But I do have some laying around. I think it's enough. Look, it doesn't actually hold that much. So I'm thinking, well, I don't know what I'm thinking. All right, yeah, I took out that top, tighten this one up. I took out this top one. And usually the way these things go is we're going to be filling above that line. So this is pretty good. All right, it's going to take all of this. So I have some other stuff, and if we have to finish up with a little bit of the old, but I don't think I have any more of this. But we'll put a decent amount in. I'll just filter the old. I have some oil enhancer too I can use, like Lucas product. So let's let that dribble in there. It's probably real close, right? I should have let this in. I'm gonna lift up the front a little bit and put a tubie on it because she's leaning a little. But you could tell it came out here. I got some stuff I took out of a pump that I was working with, and it's a very thick oil, and it's pretty fresh. Okay, I took it out and changed it, and I did something else. So it hasn't really been run, and it hasn't been heated. And we'll get a look at the other oil, the old oil, in a little bit. does this feel like? There's like crap on top of that? But this is going to be way more better than what was in there. I'm glad we did this. There it comes. See, she's tickling out. There she is. Okay, that's all we need. Alright. It's going to be all over the belts. Alright, we got to get in there and wipe it up. That's it. Alright, fellas, I think we're just about done. The only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little oil on these rollers just to keep everything happy and going. Clean this up a little bit. It's as good as we're going to get it. So I'll do the rollers now. I'll clean up. We're going to move this over to the side and pull the tracker back in. And then you slide it in from the right side, standing behind it. Right, your passenger side. And yeah, we got to hook up the drive shaft. I just got to put the top back. This piece here after I wipe it. And we're good. We'll do that. It smells too. It smells weird. It's thick and it's dirty, so you can't even see through to the bottom. And this is a shallow pan. Let me get rid of this. Yeah, I'm glad we did this. No, it wasn't for all them holes. It's pretty good. I just gotta shove it underneath. I just came up with some better hardware. This is already lubricated, so we took that off of the other implement, shoved it in there. That's all good to go. All right, I just gotta shove it underneath. What I did find is that it's easy to just lean over and put the back end up on some wooden blocks, like a 4x or something. You can't see it necessarily in here. Can you see it? The chain hangs down, and then you can connect it, and then what we'll do is we'll lift up the front. Now, what I didn't realize is I should have not put this on yet, because it's easier to get a jack underneath the front. But with the back hanging, it's actually not as heavy because it's picking up half of the weight. So let me see what I can do. I'm almost there. And then we got to reach under and put the drive shaft on. All right, once it's hanging, look at that, how easy it is to pick it up. So I'm just going to reach underneath there, deal with that, and well, I'm getting tired, but yeah, let's do that. All right, I just I put my little scissor jack in the front. I had to make some different bolts for the front. I think next time I'll do is I would like to make some pins, just to pin everything with clips, with clevis pins. It looks good. All right, there's my weight in the back. I also have some batteries and stuff to put back there, lead. And so it's down all the way, pretty much. What we'll do is let me go police the yard, and I'll get ready to cut. This thing's so cool. Got the head gasket for it. And we're gonna fire it up. Yep, pretty soon. Alright, so I guess I put my foot here. Yeah, something like this. This is gonna be fun. So this is gonna be the other one. So we'll get the Sunstar, we'll get this one going. These are to be the two old girls. Right? Aluminum deck, we gotta fix it, but you know, this one also is shaft drive. Let me get off it again. You're not supposed to step on it. That's probably how this broke. So we're gonna have to fix that good. Yep, we'll get there. We're gonna have to bring this in soon. Another couple of weeks we're gonna get to it. And then we can get it started. We can bring it in, get it cleaned off. And this one I'm gonna go bring in now, which like I said, she's running real good. That's the weight thing from that old project that I did with the generator. She's just running so good. Smooth. That oil helped out a lot. I don't see it blowing smoke or nothing. It needed another oil change. It's all lubed, so I'm not gonna do anything there. I don't think I'm just gonna clean it, like I said. All right, I'm out of here. Go close up. What a long day. Nice. Here it is.